What's up YouTube? Today's video is very special for me. This channel just hit 2000 members, so thank you so much for that. Really means a lot. Look, when I started this channel, I was very insecure about my English. You guys know I keep saying English is not my main language, but is the reality. And I was like, I'm not even sure if people will like to watch my videos because of my accent, etc. But I've been trying to improve my English. I know some people already noticed that, and I'm having a lot of fun. I tend to say we are just getting started, and we are just getting started. So, if in the end up enjoying this video, again, repeating myself, do not forget to leave a like, consider to subscribe if you are not a member of the channel, because as soon as I hit 3k members I will do another Q&A. Also, a couple of things, there is a link below the video for my Discord community, another thing that is growing quite fast on this channel, very close I believe to 900 members, but at least at 800 members I'm sure we are there already, and also my Patreon community. That's the best way to support me in a financial way, if you want to put that way, because again, you guys know AdSense does not pay that well on YouTube, and I also provide value on the Patreon community. So links will be below the video. Consider to join both, but at least join Discord since it's totally free. Now let's go into the video, in this case a Q&A, and I hope you have fun. So before I go into the questions, just a couple of things. I got a lot of questions. I can't answer all of them to be honest with you. So I ended up choosing 10 that I believe cover different topics. They can bring interesting conversation. But if your question end up not getting answered on this Q&A, you can always send me a DM on Instagram, and I will try to give you my thoughts there. Another thing, I know we are celebrating the 200 subscribers on YouTube, and that's an amazing number, not gonna lie. But our community is much bigger than that. I mean, I'm so proud of my Discord community. We have a lot of amazing members there. Also, the Patreon community is growing quite a lot. Another amazing place to interact with me, to learn about the soccer card market. And just to finalize my thoughts, as you can see, is the YouTube, is Instagram, the Discord, the Patreon. All of this stuff is part of the soccer study community. That, look, I know I am the face, but I think you guys are even more important than me. I don't say this lightly. I really believe in this type of stuff. Because, look, guys, like I said, I believe at the beginning of the video, my English is not even that great, so there is not a lot of reasons for you guys to watch me versus a content creator that speaks English very well. But I think you guys find some value that, and for me that's very important. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Let's move on into the question number one, and the question number one goes this way: one card that is less rare than you thought, and one card that is more rare than you expected. Well, this is an interesting question. I would start one thing: less rare than I thought. There is a lot, honestly. More rare than I expected. There is also a lot, but probably less. So let's start with the less a card less rare than I thought. And the first card that came to my mind was this one, the 68-69 Van der Out. I love this card for Johan Cruyff. Is one of the earliest cards in his country, Holland. So is iconic card in the market, no doubt in my mind. That being said, if you look at the pop report for this card, lately I've been getting crazy. And I say lately is the last 12 months, 24 months to be fair. But the pop report is just too high, which is not even my main problem, being honest, in the sense that okay, but let's say this is 200 copies, but basically everything is a 1 or a 2. But lately, not even the case. A lot of mid-grades or even good. Look at the amount of PSA 8s for this card. I remember the narrative for this card being quite strong in the sense that, look, if you can get this card above a 2 or 2.5, this could be a holy grail type of card because most of them will have damage on the back. Right now, I think that narrative is completely out of the window. I'm not sure. I question this type of stuff. To be fair, a lot of decent grades have been appearing for this card. And even more scary is the amount of raw I can still find on eBay, on different European websites that show me the pop is not done by any means. At the end of the day, in 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 years, we'll have a much better idea of rarity for this card, of condition rarity for this card. But for the market we have right now, I cannot say I'm very happy with the pop report. I own a card, not a great grade to be fair, and thank God, because at one point I was thinking about paying a premium for a PSA 4, I believe. So really happy that I stayed with my one, and there is that. In a more positive way, a card ended up surprising me a lot in terms of rarity. I always felt the rarity would be strong is Panini Marrons da equipes de Europa Thierry Henry Russian version. The narrative for this one was almost the opposite. I remember 1 year ago people saying, let's wait and see, probably the pop, since there is a lot right now selling for a good amount of money, the pop will increase much more than we expect. And not the case. I mean, look at this, 13 copies and very, very slow growth on the pop report. I really think this card have true rarity or strong rarity, whatever the expression you want to apply. But I would still be careful, being honest. But apply this logic for everything, unless numbered cards, of course, that you can think about. I think you need to track the market close, even though for now I'm very surprised with the pop for Marrons da equipes de Europa Thierry Henry. I sold one in the past. I regret a lot. The good thing about this is I have one at PSA. So there is that. But yeah, I think this is a great card in my opinion, and very surprised with the pop report staying so low. So I would say these are, very positive for Marrons da equipes de Europa. Not that happy with Van der Out Cruyff. Moving on. And before I actually move on, I think it's also important to bring a more macro perspective for this topic. So in a more positive way, I think things that are rare, that I expected end up being rare, most of them, again, I would not say I'm sure they are really rare, but at least for now, I still believe they are really, really difficult to find. And I'm talking about cards for Ronaldinho in 2001, apart from the Navarrete. This card, for example, if people don't know, is from Wizards of the Coast, and at one point I thought, you know what, my background is Magic the Gathering, and I know Wizards of the Coast tends to print quite a lot, but guess what, I'm not finding these cards that easy, so I'm still very happy with the pop report for a card like this. The sticker I talk a lot is the Xavi 90A. This was a update set for the Panini League set at the time, and this card still seems quite difficult to find. And I'm putting Libra de Estampas, but even in general, I'm very happy with the Maradona market. I would say maybe the headshot on the 78 ended up disappointing me a bit, but for the disc and the Libra de Estampas, I'm really happy with the rarity that, at least for now, seems to be strong. Disappointed. I guess there is more cards. The Van der Out, like I said, was the first one that came to my mind. But I also can say, for example, Mbappe PSA 10 Panini Foot. Look, by any means, I thought this card was true rarity or something like that, or even super condition rarity in a PSA 10. I knew that was not the case. But I thought the sticker was not easy to grade, honestly, from my experience at least. And I thought the gemmant rate would be very low long run, but there is a lot of them. And almost same logic with the Van der Out. I still see a lot of them raw on eBay. For this card, I even see a lot of sealed product for the Panini Foot 2016 on eBay. So a bit disappointed. I still like this is the only rookie for Mbappe to be fair. But I would say a bit disappointed. Beckenbauer, I guess you can also put Muller on this logic, the Bergman 65. I also knew this card was not incredible rare. And when I say rare, this is very relative. Because again, let's actually go back, because I think it's very important to put this in perspective. Guys, this pop for Van der Out, I know for our market, especially for the vintage market, is a lot. But when you compare with other sports, this is still fairly low to be transparent. But I think we have to assess the market right now. Maybe in the future, things will still be have rarity for the demand the market can obtain in the future. So Bergerman, like I said, a bit disappointed. I knew was not the rarest card in the world, but almost same logic with the Van der Hout. A lot of decent grades are appearing on the market. At one point, the narrative was similar. If you get more than a PSA 2, that could be actually a card that will be very difficult to obtain. Right now, I'm not sure. Again, I will keep tracking the market. In the pre-modern market, I would say Messi rookie, especially for the Mega Cracks Barca Campeón. This is mislabeled by... actually, it's not mislabeled, I'm sorry. But actually, the photo I ended up putting on the screen was the Campeón, the Spanish version. This is actually the Catalan version, but I'm focusing more on the Spanish version. The Spanish version, specifically for this card, the pop got quite crazy, and even the other two versions of the cards on the set also have... I would say the pop is quite high. Again, in a macro perspective, maybe not. In a potentially macro perspective, maybe not. But actually, this one, the Catalan version, I think in general, Catalan is still, I will not say rare, but when you compare with the Spanish version, I think there is still something positive to take from this set. But yeah, I mean... very difficult question in general, because it's always relative in the sense that, like I was saying, soccer is difficult to find a card that I say, oh man, this pop report is completely out of fun for key cards that we thought are also key cards 1 year ago. So it's a difficult question in general, but these are my thoughts. So question number 2. If you have to pick 10 cards to hold forever, well, forever is a long time, what would those be? This was actually a very easy question for me, because I had, I would say, 8-9 cards in my mind, and then finding the last 1 or 2 was also quite easy. So I would say one thing, I will just focus on soccer cards. For example, if I was focusing TCGs, Black Lotus will be one of the cards I would love to hold forever. And I will also put cards that, even if I do not own, I think they are obtainable to own in the future. So I will not put a 57 Pele, because I think I don't see a scenario where I can afford a card like that anymore. I would, or even that I would care to afford a card like that anymore. I would not put, for example, a Prism Gold Messi, even though I'm a Messi collector. I understand that's out of my budget, most likely forever. So with that in mind, I would start with, by the way, the grades are random. This is just photos I end up finding on online on my computer. So the first card I would keep is Mega Crack 7 on Bees. For me, the most iconic card in the soccer card market. For Messi, I would still go with the ST sticker. I think those are the best rookies, and I love, one is a rookie card, one is a rookie sticker. I would also go with Zidane Panini Foot 92. I think he's a super iconic card. Then if I put Zidane, I also have to put Ronaldo. And my favorite rookie for Ronaldo is the Football Headshot. But I would not be mad if you want to put the Estrelas or even the foil version of Football. The last one would be on the 5 will be Ronaldinho 95. No, not 95, 99. Again, iconic sticker, and Ronaldinho is my favorite player. In terms of eye peeling, I have to be honest, it's probably the sticker I like the least. I think the headshot for Ronaldo, Zidane, the Mega Cracks, the SS sticker all look insane. This one, I think is nice, but in terms of eye peeling, it's probably the worst. Moving on, now in a more vintage way, I would also put Maradona 77. If you want to put Libra de Estampas or the 78 Crack Campeonato Mundial cards, I also think that's fine. I think this one is a very important card. At the end of the day, it's only from 77, and if for Pelé the 57s are completely unobtainable, for Maradona you can still find a disc, a PSA 1, PSA 2, not super expensive. Then I would go with Pele, Alifa. I had to think about this one a bit. For sure, I would love a Pele on my collection on the 10 cards. I also like Aquarela, to be fair, even though I understand is much more common. I love the Americana 58. Americana 58 probably will be super expensive. I know this is also very expensive in a PSA 1, but it's still a card that I can dream to have. It's not even that difficult, to be fair. So, moving on. The other vintage card would be Palirex Campeões Europeus Futebol Cruyff. The reason is, I think, after Maradona and Pele, Cruyff is in terms of the vintage market, the next GOAT. Some people probably would say Di Stefano or Puskás. I put Cruyff, but all the others are also very, you can make solid arguments for them. Then I would put Cristiano Ronaldo Mega Cracks and Cristiano Ronaldo sticker. So the only players I would repeat cards will be Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. Again, my two favorite players, to be honest with you. Messi is my favorite player right now, but me being Portuguese, I mean, I have to respect and love Cristiano Ronaldo. This will be my 10 cards to hold forever. If I had to take one out, because I also was trying to say, okay, but what if it's only 5? But say, what if it's only 9? That's a difficult one. I probably would take Ronaldinho because he's probably the one I like the least in terms of eye appealing, and if I'm holding forever, that seems quite important for me. But is really difficult. Maybe I would take a Cristiano Ronaldo or the ST sticker, something around those lines. But difficult to be honest. Cards that end up getting close to make the list, but not really at the end of the day, was like Panini Foot, Henry, Ibrahimovic, a rookie sticker. But these guys are the ones that for sure I would try to keep. Moving on, and again, this is not based on potentially value in the future, etc., because, or even my dream cards, because that would be a little bit different. But for the question, I think this makes sense. Question number 3. Do you think the Pele is the GOAT in cardboard narrative will stay? Maradona closing the gap or potentially closing the gap? Interesting question, and I'm preparing something for you. I would say this, closing the gap, talking about Maradona versus Pele, I would say yes. I believe that could become reality. I think if you compare 6 months ago, 7 months ago versus now, I think the gap is already not as big, even though Pele have a huge premium in the vintage market. But like I said, closing the gap, yes. Maradona becoming the GOAT in terms of cardboard, that I tend to doubt. Not because I think Maradona was inferior to Pelé, not the case. Actually, I think Maradona is probably the most talented player ever, and I think Maradona in terms of demand can get really huge if the market goes international. But because of demographics, I think the biggest rival for Pelé, for Maradona, to be fair, will be Lionel Messi. I think demographics will play out very well for the pre-modern GOAT, even though you can argue Cristiano Ronaldo should also be on the conversation. And I also think it's fair to split vintage and modern. Pelé / Maradona will, in my perspective, forever be the GOATs in the vintage market. And Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo most likely will be the key players in the more modern era. Maybe, again, Haaland, Mbappé, all of these guys will reach a similar level in the future. We don't know. We have to wait and see. I tend to doubt, as you guys know, but again, not impossible. In general, my perspective is a very basic one on this question. If you believe in the market, trying to acquire historical / rare cards, and the perfect mix will be both combined for the 4 GOATs makes a lot of sense. I'm a big believer in all of them. So people say, should I buy Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi? Honestly, again, it depends in what you are targeting, but in a very macro perspective, I think all the 4 GOATs make a lot of sense to invest. Will Pele be the biggest one in 10 years from now? Maybe. But maybe not. Could be Messi. Could be Maradona again. I tend to doubt more it will be Maradona or even Cristiano Ronaldo. and I was talking about this on my Discord yesterday. Think about the people that collect Messi. I see a lot of. I'm saying just almost Messi collectors. I know a lot of them. Maybe because of my bias for Messi. Maybe because I also collect Messi more than the other players. But I don't know a lot of people that just collect Maradona or Cristiano Ronaldo. Pele, I actually know some people, but I think Messi, because of the demographics, have a huge potential. And when I say Messi, don't think just about rookies. I mean, I'm talking about even high-end cards, the flawless, the eminence, all of that type of stuff. I can see Messi gaining a lot of momentum. So, question number 4. And I believe we have to go a little bit faster, otherwise this will take too long. When do you think we'll see a recovery of the market, if ever? Well, the short answer, and to be fair, the only correct answer I know is this. You have no idea, my friend. I'm going to be honest with you. I think if you ask me, do I believe in the soccer card market? Yes, I'm very bullish on the soccer card market. I collect a lot of stuff, like I tend to say, and I don't see anything close to the soccer card market in terms of potential. When the market will recover, look, I do not know that. If I think right now we are very connected with macroeconomics. I mean, if mutual funds keep going down, if in general the Wall Street is facing a crazy bear run right now, I don't see a reason for us to go up all of the sudden. I understand there is a huge catalyst with the World Cup in a couple of days at this point. So again, it's very difficult to predict, being honest with you. If ever, this is very relative, my friend, in the sense that, look, it depends. If you bought, I was looking at some numbers. If you bought Messi Prism PSA 10 for 4K, 5K, because that was the crazy mania that we saw for Prism, I probably have really bad news for you. But again, so we are talking about Maradona. If you bought the Maradona disc for, I don't know, a PSA 2, right now it's probably 2, 3K. Let's say you paid 5K or 6K. I think you have a chance of actually getting your money back, if that's your idea right now. I even believe you can see an increase in that card long run. So it depends. It's very relative what you are speculating on. Because look, the soccer card market is big. There is a lot of cards with great fundamentals, at least the way I look at things, and other cards that don't have that. They are not that great to be investing. Maybe they are great collectibles. That's a different story. But the short answer and the correct answer is I have no idea. But again, I also believe you are asking me, even if indirect, if I believe in the soccer card market. And yes, I believe a lot in the soccer card market. I just cannot predict the timeline of a recovery market. So, question number 5. Since you collect some vintage, will you do a series on investing in greatness for vintage players? Great question, and the answer is yes, but only GOAT. So I believe I already did, not I believe, I know, I did a Maradona investing in greatness, and I want to do for Pele, for Cruyff, for Beckenbauer, for Bobby Charlton, but I'm talking about the creme de la creme. I will not do for random players. When I say random, with all the respect, I'm talking about really players that are changing the game, and all of the guys you are seeing on the screen, I guess you agree with me, they are monsters in the card world, in the soccer world, and those will be the ones I will focus. For pre-modern, I'm much more okay of doing investing in greatness, for example, in a player like Ribéry, which of course is a legend, was an amazing player, but is not comparable with any of the guys you are seeing on the screen. But since I love pre-modern more than actually, I also love vintage, but I have more fun with pre-modern, and my channel focus a little bit more in pre-modern. I will be more okay exploring different players in pre-modern than I would be in vintage. But I want to do more content for vintage, especially for the Investing in Greatness series. And all of the guys you are seeing on the screen, I have a feeling that eventually there will be a video about them. That being said, I think you guys should look my friend Al Epic Cardboard AKL Recollection on YouTube. Just type this on YouTube and this channel will appear. He makes an amazing job covering the vintage market, something that is much better than me. He has videos on a lot of the players you are seeing on the screen. And that's also one of the reasons I also don't cover vintage that much, is because I think Al does an amazing job. There is almost no need for me on that area of the market. But like you said, I also collect vintage, and I think vintage is a beautiful market to have fun. I really enjoy vintage. But again, follow Epic Cardboard AKL Recollection because he really makes a great job on that. But in the future, I will also try to put more content for vintage. Question number 6. Do you sometimes question if it's worth the money that you spend on cards? Well, this is also an easy answer for me all the time. I mean, every time I buy a card, I try to put the pros and the cons. I generally don't act by impulse, even though from time to time I also regret certain decisions. But I think about this all the time. I could be much card rich than I am right now. I mean, instead of me putting money every month for my stock portfolio, I could put in cards. And by the way, there is people that does this type of stuff. But I always understood the nature of the asset. Look, I keep repeating myself on this, but if all my collection goes to zero, my life does not change a bit. I have investments in other stuff that I also talk on the channel all the time, and I also think you guys should get educated in different markets, because look, cards are a lot of fun, no doubt about that. Cards could be a great investment, no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, they are a super speculative asset. There is no intrinsic value in any of this type of stuff. And yeah, just my perspective, maybe a bearish one, but I believe some people need to reflect in this type of stuff. And I'm trying to, honestly, to be positive in general, because look, for example, I talk about this, and sometimes I get, especially on the Patreon, sometimes that should I buy this card? I may get, for example, buy it with a credit card, etc. Man, that's something I do not support at all. But I cannot provide you financial advice, of course. At the end of the day, do your own research. But the way I look at cards, very easy. Super speculative asset. I have a lot of fun. I believe a lot in the market, but I still think investing in more conservative type of, again, you guys know the typical ones. There is multiple indexes. The SP 500 is probably the most popular one. Even crypto, I think, is a little bit safer than cards in general. So not going into that very deep, but yes, I think about this all the time. Like I said, if my collection goes to zero, my life stays the same. I would be a little bit more sad. So, question number 7. Thoughts on the 2017 Nobility Set? For people that may not know the set, this is the set this person is asking about. I think it's a nice set, honestly. Modern is not a market that I have crazy knowledge. I'm going to be honest, I collect 3-4 sets in Modern. You guys know probably the set I'm talking about. I have some Top Scrum 2017 because it's the first Top Scrum set. I have some Prism because it's the 2014 because it's the first big Modern set. I'm talking about numbered cards, by the way. Base is not for me, being honest with you. I also collect Panini Trouble, a more controversial set, I would say, but I really like it. And that's it. I probably have more to be. At one point, I was collecting Heritage 96 Topps Merlit in Heritage, the first one. But again, not something that I go very deep. Do I think this set looks nice? Yes. Do I can see this set becoming more expensive in the future? If that's your question, I don't know. If I had to bet in modern, and this is the only thing I would say, I would focus in sets that you believe are historic for the market. And I think at this point, at least the idea I have on my talking with people on my Discord, on Instagram, etc., is that Top Scrum 2017 and Prism 2014 are sets that people tend to agree they are very important for the modern era. In a more high-end side, I would say Flawless, Eminence, especially Flawless, people also tend to believe that will be a very good old long run, specific for the key players. So that's my point of view. I'm sorry if I'm not answering direct. Again, I'm answering my thoughts. Is I think the set looks nice. I love the fact that the set have a lot of legends. I'm not sure if the historical element is there, but maybe I'm wrong. So, question number 8. What's your opinion on Tinghalls? I think they are harder to find than Alifa Cards. Funny stuff, at one point I was actually thinking about collecting this set, but I end up not doing that. For the reason is right now I'm in my perspective about the market is a bit different than it was, for example, 2-3 months ago. So if you guys remember my thoughts on not my thoughts, my 5 goals or 10 goals, I'm not sure anymore. For the next 12 months, I said I want to explore more pre-war. I know this is not pre-war, by the way, but that I said that I want to explore more pre-war or maybe ultra-modern. So I ended up putting almost opposites, but basically I was very, and even right now, I'm very in tune with the pre-modern market and the vintage market, and I wanted to expand a little bit more my knowledge into different areas. And I ended up focusing more on ultra-modern. I was not sure about ultra-modern and pre-war. After, again, my research, and this is very relative, and you know what, I probably have more fun collecting ultra-modern than I have collecting pre-war. Again, I know I'm not answering your question right now, but mainly my point, and you will understand, I want to collect players that I know. So even in the couple of questions ago, someone asked if I would do more investing in greatness in vintage. And yes, I will do it, but not for, again, random is a strong word, but for not random players. And by the way, I know there is a lot of famous players on Tinghalls, but there is also a lot of players that I personally have no idea. I know Andraz is on the set, which is a big player, is a historical player for the market. But I love pre-modern because of the connection that I have with the players. I also like ultra-modern because the connection, also the rarity, tends to be something that I enjoy. So finalizing my thoughts, and I know I end up going in circles for this question. I agree with you from what I end up studying the set at one point. That seems more rare than the Alifa set. That being said, I still think that the Alifa set is a key set in the market. I mean, you have probably one of the grails there. For this one, honestly, I think the set can grow over time, can get more demand, and with that prices can increase. Seems like you said a difficult set to find, and I think could be a nice set to speculate. It's just not for me, but again, I think it's great. Question number 9. Over time, have you got better at ignoring or otherwise managing inevitable general and target toxicity? Okay, this is difficult. Toxicity in the hobby. Toxicity open to interpretation, of course. Well, I would say yes. I think some critics that I got in the past, they had some sense, honestly. I also think that specific if you are talking about the market right now, a lot of negativity around the hobby is because of the state of the market. These people, again, maybe not feeling that well with some decisions they made. And yeah, this is a difficult topic to navigate. One thing that I end up realizing, I would say this year, to be fair, is I was looking at my YouTube in a very selfish way at one point. I thought I'm growing my YouTube, I'm growing my Discord, whatever, and that's fine, because I put a lot of work into this type of stuff. But I end up realizing that this is a little bit bigger than just me, because look, my Discord, for example, I mean, people have a nice time there. When I'm doing content, I'm providing a nice time also for people that love what I love. So it's basically a mindset that ended up changing on me. Yes, some people may not like me, some people may not like you. I try to ignore. I honestly do not hate anyone. I would be fine even talking with people that don't like me. Understand why? But yeah, I mean, to be fair, basically, I'm very focused on trying to grow a community. I'm very focused that in 10 years, people will say, you know what, the soccer study guy, the guy with Pele English, ended up helping me a lot on my collection. That's honestly my main goals right now, is trying to be a positive force and bring all of you guys with me. Not sure if I end up answering, by the way, but I, again, maybe in the past end up fighting more. Right now, I tend to ignore. Question number 10. Will this Ballon d'Or win have impact on the Benzema market? Yes and no. I would say no for one thing. I think a lot of this was already priced in. If you follow the Benzema market, rookies, even though they are facing a correction, but that's because of the Bob report and up exploding. But let's say rookies, key modern cards, high-end modern cards, all of them are selling for more right now. Or at least I saw a growth. Again, the market is going down every day, so who knows? Maybe they are already at the point that I was thinking about. But I believe the market ended up growing quite a lot in the past. As you guys know, I collect Panini Treble, and for example, Benzema, I feel like after the big names, is the player that have more demand on the set. So again, I think the market already already grew quite a lot. But I also think there is a lot of priced-in effect on that. So maybe right now the market can even go down, especially because of macroeconomics. But even, let's say, if the market is stable, I think the market can still go down because the priced-in effect was strong on Benzema. Long run, I believe this will help Benzema a lot. Why? Look, there is people that just collect or mainly collect players that end up winning Ballon d'Or, which is almost like the Hall of Fame that we have for the soccer card market. And Benzema forever will be on that list. So right now, I would be surprised if the Benzema market grows a lot. Not saying it's impossible, but long run, I actually believe this will be an amazing thing for Benzema. And Benzema deserves, because Benzema is without a doubt one of the best strikers of this generation. In my perspective, you can make argument to be one of the best strikers ever. So finalizing my thoughts on this, you guys know, thank you so much for all the support. We are just getting started, and the journey will, we are just at the beginning. So stay with me, I will stay with you guys, and see you guys next time.